Hi, this is Eb Hales, and today I'm demonstrating irises in watercolour. And I'm starting with just some colour splashed on the page, and I'm going to move from there to creating the background. When you're painting any flower, it's important to understand the pattern, select interesting angles, and use both positive and negative painting to make variety. I've already got the base shape of these flowers on my paper, and this has been achieved quite loosely. What I want to do now is to come and create a little more definition without making the image too tight. I only draw in when I'm ready to paint. So there are some soft pencil lines around this flower, and I'm just adding the details that make the petals interesting. I'm not painting everything. The iris is a pattern of three petals down, 3 petals curling up, and 3 small accents in the centre. If you understand this pattern of 3, you can turn the iris different ways and have quite a different looking flower. One time you'll see a single petal at the front, like I'm demonstrating here. At other times there'll be multiple petals in the front. I'm just adding accents to create interest, and I don't want to paint everything. Those beautiful bright accents on the flowers near the centres are a very distinguishing feature. So are the flounces on the petals, and I create these with both colour and also just a damp brush. I'm using the stems to highlight the edges of the petals, edging the colour back in the direction of the petal. I'm drawing attention to the centre here. And creating the stem. You do not need much on the flower to create the impression if you understand the pattern. Notice how I put the colour on and then I immediately soften it out so that there is only one crisp edge. If I put the colour on and there's dry paper everywhere, I will get a hard line, which is not what I'm after at all. Lots of the calyxes and the paper like that is at the base of these buds is quite a feature of the flowers as well. This time I'm putting the background and the leaves around this painting and creating a composition. I need to create movement through the design. I need to build foliage around the flowers, creating depth and layering in both the flowers and the foliage. And then I need to balance the whole composition. I'm starting by putting a hint of some flowers in the background. This is just carrying the bluey purple colour of the irises in through where the foliage will be. I then make notes what I want to do. I want to fix the light flower. I want to add leaves. When I have made these notes, I start and do the things that I have ascertained. I'm now fixing the light flower. This needs a bit more interest. It hasn't got as much as the flowers at the top, and so I'm going to add a little more to that flower. I'm going to anchor it with its stem, and I'm going to start building some of the stems through the design itself. I can also lift out some areas if I feel they're too dark. This will be one of my main flowers, so I make it interesting enough to hold the viewer's attention. I need a little bit more dark here because that dark on the bud is far too strong, and so I'm adding some to the flowers at the bottom where they will get mixed in amongst the background. And I want to carry that dark through the design, and I want to push the layers back so there's a hint of another bud. And then there's the leaves. These are fun to paint. They're so simple and straight. They're really just a brush mark pressed quite heavily on the paper and drawn quickly through the paint. Because we want the impression that there are lots of leaves happening, because we have quite a mass of flowers, I keep pulling these through the design. I try to change the angle, and then if they're looking too stiff, I spray across to loosen the edges. Varying the colour a little, but keeping the marks quite fast and fresh. As that spray has settled, some of the areas will lift off, and so I'll have lighter leaves, and I also need some darker areas as well, and so I just come in with patches of dark between the leaves. This is all just starting to anchor the design, and you can have so much fun doing this that you don't know when to stop. I felt the pattern was too white at the top, and so I'm just adding a little bit of pink and a little bit of warmth. This is just a gentle wash and really should be done right at the beginning. It just helps to carry the colour through the painting. Finally, the verticals are the things that are going to balance the fluffiness of the flowers. And so they are pulled down through the design. I'm going to lap over some of the flowers, and so there's a sense of layering. This is where I started, and this is where I finished. Some people will prefer the first, others the second. That's up to you. Fabulous Flowers is an ebook that I have published that discusses a lot about painting a wide variety of flowers. Check it out for yourself.